Hi Cancer, welcome to May. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. And before I start your reading, I want to call in some good energy. So this month we have a full moon in Scorpio on May 7th. And then we have Jupiter, Venus, and Saturn going retrograde in the middle of May. And then we have a new moon in Gemini on May 22nd. And I'll get into the astrology later, but let's see what the cards say about love for Cancer. What does Cancer need to know about love and relationships for the month of May, 2020? There's a message flying out of the cards. 10 of Wands. You've been working hard, carrying a burden. Okay. Maybe it's time to put the burden down. So let's see what's on the agenda for May, for Cancer. May 2020. Coming up. What does Cancer need to know about May 2020 in terms of love and relationships? Let's see what we have. This is the Steampunk Tarot, by the way. One of my favorite decks. That and the Morgan Greer. As you can tell, I use it more often. The Empress, that's your card, the mother. The Nine of Wands. The Temperance. The Devil. The King of Cups. The World. The Queen of Cups. The Page of Cups. The Two of Swords. And the Four of Cups. Okay, Cancer. So, the Empress, this is a card of motherhood, family, abundance. That's where your focus is going to be this month. You might be working on a creative project, and it's like your baby, and some of you might be giving birth if you're trying to start a family. Some of you may be focused on family. Most of you, Cancer is always focused on family. But you also could be... the Empress is about creating something, and nurturing it into fruition. So you could be starting something that you have to kind of nurture. But in any case, the Empress it's the mother card, it's the family abundance card, it's the harvest card for all your hard work. And here you have the Nine of Wands. This is the card of you've been struggling for a long time. The card that flew out was the 10. So I feel like you're coming to the end of your struggle. And you're going to be able to put your burdens down. So you may feel a little bit frustrated now. Like, I've been working hard and I'm not seeing the results. And how much longer? I don't have the energy to keep fighting for this goal. For this relationship. For whatever the situation may be. And you're about feeling like you want to give up. But the Nine of Wands is saying, don't give up. You're so close. Just keep trying. Just one last effort, one last push. You have the Temperance here. So this is a card of trying to find balance in your life. Maybe you've been working too hard at the expense of relationships, or you're connecting with someone and they're very different than you. Maybe you've been dealing with a Libra. I don't know. I'm seeing water sign. I mean, you could be dealing with any sign, but sometimes the Temperance card, it's all about balance. It's about finding the middle ground, and it's about learning how to compromise. So, if something in your life is one-sided or lopsided, whether it's work or family problems or whatever it is, relationship, you have to kind of come to the center. Try to see things from the other person's perspective, and try to meet halfway. Try to find something that you could both agree on. This can also represent that you are connecting with someone that you're very compatible with. It's just that you're very different. And you can blend those differences together and create, a greater whole. But you have to, incorporate that other person's views, or that other person, the qualities of the other person. You have to incorporate that into your thinking, into your reality. So it's about compromise. It's about seeing things from the other side and learning how to create some kind of win-win situation in a relationship. The Devil card is in your recent past. So the Devil card comes up when sometimes we're just so obsessed with something we can't get it out of our head. Sometimes it comes up with if you're dealing with someone who's got an addiction problem, either yours or your partner, or drinking, drugs, or it could even just be passion. It doesn't even have to be like a drug problem. It could just mean that you're really strongly attracted to someone. You know, you just can't get them out of your head. Or there's a strong chemistry. But at the same time that there's this strong attraction, there's also like fear connected with the Devil. Like, am I going to be overwhelmed by this relationship? I can't, like, my feelings are so strong that they scare me. Or I'm afraid if I commit to this relationship, if I go deeper, I'm going to lose my sense of self. So those are some of the issues that could be coming up. But let me tell you, I think you're meeting a soulmate in May. If you're not already in a relationship, the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups are in this reading. When the two court cards come together, that means that you're very compatible. You're on the same page. You're made of the same element. So the King of Cups is someone who's very sensitive, very deep. He may not always show his feelings. You know, you might feel like you have a fear of rejection with the King of Cups, afraid to reveal yourself. But this person is very nurturing, very compassionate. You just don't always, he hides his emotions. He's afraid to show his emotions. And especially because here's the Two of Swords. This is also a card of you needing to drop your guard, needing to be more vulnerable. Like Cancer is very protective of their emotions because they feel so deeply. And, you know, you're afraid to go out on that limb. You're afraid of rejection. Afraid, like, well, if I show him a sign or her a sign, or what if they're not interested? I'm going to be mortified. You know, I can't handle rejection. But you got the Queen of Cups here too. So this is a card of someone who's very creative, intuitive, spiritual. You both are very similar to each other. And that's the problem. Because you're both coming from a place of protection and defense. Because Cancer doesn't ever go directly after what they want. They kind of go sideways. You ever see a crab move? They don't move straight. They go side by side. So Cancer never wants people to know what they're up to. If they like you, they might just ignore you. You know, you won't even know they like you. Because they're so afraid, like, oh, what if they find out? You know, when a Cancer is talking to you and you're like nothing, they don't even, it's like they don't, you're not on the radar. Because they're not afraid of being rejected from someone they're not interested in. You know, but if they really like you, then they're like really shy. Well, in any case, you've got the World coming up here. Now, the World it's also a card of ending a cycle. But it's not a bad ending. It's like something is completing, something's coming to an end, and you're getting ready to move to the next level. So that could mean if you're dating someone, maybe you want to make a commitment. Or you might be finishing up a work project, and now you're getting a promotion. Or it could mean that if someone has been a burden to you, that cycle is ending. You know, that cycle of carrying the load for someone or carrying a lot of responsibility, it's coming to an end. The World card is also about finding your path, finding your place, doing work that you love, existing in a state of grace. This is in the future. This is coming. So you could be connecting with someone that really takes you to a new level, where you really feel like all of a sudden now my life is making sense. Now I have what I've been looking for. So something ends and something new begins, but the beginning is good. And as a matter of fact, you've got this Page of Cups here. So someone is wanting to express, this is a message. Now for some people it could mean a child. So if you're in a marriage or something and you're dealing with children, maybe you want to have a child, maybe you're having a child, you know, because this is a general reading. There are different aspects to these cards. So it may not apply to everyone. Some of you may be thinking about having a family. So if you're with someone that you really care about, you might be thinking, maybe it's time to have a child, maybe it's time to have a family. If it's a new relationship that you're just starting or you're just interested in someone, it could mean that someone's wanting to tell you how they feel. Because this is a message of love. This could be, and you're dealing with someone who's very sensitive, very, maybe a little bit immature in the way they think about love. But their feelings, their emotions are very tender. So you have to handle them with care, because their feelings can get hurt very easily. And here you have the Two of Swords. So here's someone on the fence, like you're waiting for the other person. This is in your wish fulfillment sector. So you're waiting for a sign from someone else that you're interested in. And they're waiting for a sign from you that you're interested in them. So nobody's making a move. No one's breaking the ice. Somebody's got to break the ice. Someone's got to go out on the limb. Someone's got to drop their guard and be vulnerable and say, hey, you know what? Let's get together. Or take that risk, take that chance. I think it will work out. And you have this Four of Cups here. So there's the energy of I'm not sure, I'm not ready, I don't know if I'm ready. So the Four of Cups is about, I'm not really happy with my life, I'm kind of bored, I'm kind of feeling undervalued, underappreciated, and maybe I should start looking around and see what's out there. But when something gets offered to that person, they're like, well, I don't know if I want to take it. I don't know if I want this offer. Like, I don't know if I'm ready. So it's like you're digging your heels in, like, there's like a fear factor. I want it, but then I don't want it. I want it, but I don't want it. I want to change my life, but then I don't know, I'm afraid. So something's going to be offered to you. You may get a message. And you're going to have to think, do I want to stay where I'm at, or do I want to accept this new opportunity? But you're going to have to make a decision, or nothing is going to move. So that's kind of the energy. But it's great. The World is a great card. The World and the Empress, the abundance is there for you. So if you just have to take that chance. If you take that chance, you're not going to get rejected. You're going to see that positive results coming from that offer, that message. But you have to give a sign. You have to drop that guard, drop that shell, that hard shell. Be more soft, be more vulnerable. Show the true nature. Because Cancer people are very sweet. They're like they're very nurturing, they're very caring and compassionate and kind, and they just want to help people, and they really feel deeply about the people they care about. But sometimes they have this tough shell on the outside, and they give off a vibe of like, stay away, because they're just afraid of getting hurt, and they're afraid of being rejected because they're so sensitive. So you have to break through that shell. You have to allow someone to see that softer side. They're not going to harm you. Maybe you went through something in the past with the devil, and you're afraid of, losing yourself. And but things are changing. The world is here. You're ready to move on to a new cycle. But you have to give a sign. So let's see what the astrology has to say. We have the full moon in Scorpio, which is favorable to your sign. It's in your sister sign. It's another water sign. And that's happening in the 5th house and the 11th house. So something is coming to completion. 5th house is the house of children. It's the house of sex, as far as like, recreational sex, like, a romance, short-term relationship. It's the house of creative self-expression, creativity. And so the moon's in the 5th house and the sun's in the 11th house, which is the house of hopes, dreams, wishes. And the sun at this full moon is conjunct Mercury, messages, communication. So you may get a message from a friend. Or you may, something may be revealed at this time. Someone may reveal their feelings for you. Don't be afraid of it, because you have Mars squaring this full moon coming from the 8th house of intimacy and the 8th house of sex on a deep level, real bonding. So there's a lot of passion connected with this new beginning or this message. The person who's... Now, these two people, there's passion. You got the devil here. There's a lot of sexual energy in this relationship. And maybe it frightens you. But someone's got to take action, So this moon is also trining Neptune. The moon is trining Neptune. The sun is sextile Neptune from the 9th house. So if you're connecting with someone, it could be someone who's very different than you. someone from a different culture, someone with different belief systems. It's good. They're going to stretch your mind, expand your mind, or have you thinking along different lines. Now, you've had Pluto in your 7th house for like forever. So Pluto's been transforming your committed partnerships. But now Jupiter just moved into the 7th. You know, what was it? Last November, December. Jupiter moved into Capricorn. And that's bringing you luck to find a true partner. So you can really transform your relationships and create better connections that bring you abundance. Saturn was here, but now Saturn has moved on. Saturn moved on to Aquarius, so now Saturn is in your 8th house. So it could be stirring up, Saturn and Mars, they could be stirring up your financial sector. Maybe you're afraid of, if you make changes, will you be still financially supported? If you're expecting money coming in, there may be some delays. And Venus is in the 12th house in Gemini. Venus is going to be in Gemini for all summer practically, because it's going to go retrograde in the middle of May, and then it's going to go, into July, and then it's going to come back in Gemini. So it's going to be a while before it moves into Cancer. So all summer, Venus is going to go back and forth in your 12th house. So you're going to be reviewing. It's like you're ending a cycle when things are in the 12th house. And you have to complete something. It's like you have to leave something behind. You have to realize that a cycle in your life is ended, and it's time to start it. You're going to get ready to start a new cycle, because when Venus moves into your 1st house in Cancer, it's going to attract love. You're going to bring love. You're going to be ready for love. Maybe now you're not ready. That's why you have the 4 of Cups. You're kind of just thinking about it, but you're not ready to take action. And Venus in the 12th can mean that you have secret feelings for someone. Like you're in love. You're not wanting to reveal your feelings, but you may get some encouragement by someone else. Somebody's going to reveal their feelings for you. Whether you're ready to accept them or not is another story. Now, Mercury and Neptune are in a sextile aspect, and Mercury is in your 11th house, and Neptune's in the 9th. So there's even more. The communication may not happen face-to-face. It may be over the internet, because the 9th house is a house of publishing, long-distance travel, communication. So if you're connecting with someone, they could be at a distance. And it may be necessary to travel to connect with them in person, but with all this, lockdown stuff that we're dealing with, you might not be able to travel, but you can communicate through technology. Mercury rules technology also. Social media. So use whatever tools you have to connect in May. Then in the middle of the month, okay, so this is on May 7th. Then Saturn, on May 11th, Saturn goes retrograde. And Saturn is in your 8th house. So some financial thing that you thought was, in the bag might be delayed. If you're waiting for money to come in, there might be some delays. You might have to work harder for the money. Saturn is resources that you receive outside of your salary. So it's not the money you make. It's the money that you may get through like an inheritance or a payout or an investment. So there could be some bumps in the road when it comes to finances, like money that you were expecting to get, and like funding or something like that might be delayed. So just hang in there. Then then Venus goes retrograde on the 13th. And like I said, Venus is in your 12th. So you might be thinking about, when Venus retrogrades, it could bring people from the past back. So you might be remembering people from the past. You might have feelings for someone that you never really communicated, secret feelings. You might be connecting with them in May, or during the retrograde period, May, June. And then Jupiter goes retrograde on the 14th. And Jupiter's in your 7th house. Again, it's giving you a second chance. So if you missed connecting with someone the first time around, now you're kind of rethinking your strategy, you might get a second chance. Then we have the new moon in, this year, everything's going to go retrograde. When I get to June, we're going to have Mercury retrograde, then Neptune, then September. August, Uranus goes retrograde. September, Mars goes retrograde. Everything's going to slow down this year. There's no fast track this year. but it's a good time for evaluation. It's a good time to think, look at your plans and maybe rethink your strategy and prepare for a time when we can move forward, which might come at the end of the year. So now the new moon is in Gemini, and that's on the 22nd, and that's happening in your 12th house. And it's trine Saturn in your 8th house. So if something was held up, maybe you'll hear some good news by the new moon. The 12th house is the house of spirituality. It's the house of psychological programming. So maybe you decided to make a new beginning. Like if you've been holding on to past baggage, maybe you're working on yourself now. And you're thinking, you know what, I'm not going to let things hold me back anymore. I'm going to go for what I want. So you have an opportunity for a new beginning, a new psychological understanding. You have an opportunity to bring things out from the shadows. So if you've been hiding your emotions, you have a chance to reveal them at the new moon. But definitely at the full moon, someone may reveal their feelings to you. So Mars is still squaring Saturn in the 8th, or in the 9th, I'm sorry. So travel might still be an issue. You may feel like you want to go and travel, but you can't. Either there's no money, or you're feeling restricted because of rules and regulations. And Uranus is in Taurus. It's squaring Saturn. Let's see. But Mars is sextiling Uranus in the 5th. So there's definitely potential for a surprise development in a relationship. So the 5th house could represent surprises with children. Like maybe you find out you're pregnant if you're wanting to have a family. Whether you're ready or not. Or there could be some unexpected creative project that comes up. And you're like, wow, I really want to do this. This really speaks to me. Or it could be a new romance that comes out unexpectedly. With someone that's very different than you. Maybe a little bit high energy. And the 12th house, at this new moon, Venus conjuncts Mercury. So it's time for you to speak up and change your thinking, or at least take time out to meditate and think about what you really want, and think about, it's a time to explore your unconscious. And you've got Neptune. Neptune's in the 9th house, and Venus and Mercury are squaring Neptune. So either you can use this time to do something creative, explore a new spiritual path. Maybe this new love is going to introduce you to a new spiritual path. Or it's really good. Venus and Mercury, when they come together and with connections to Neptune, is very good for creativity, creative writing. It's better than signing a contract or doing anything that's not art related, like art, music, photography, theater. When it's connecting with Neptune, there could be some confusion or there could be some miscommunication. So you want to make sure that that you're not reading something the wrong way, and that you're being very specific about what you think and what you feel, and don't leave anything to chance. If you don't understand something, clarify it, communicate about it. Don't just take for granted what you hear. Because sometimes when Mercury squares Neptune, you may hear gossip, and it may not always be true. It may be, blown out of proportion. And if someone's wanting to propose something to you, like it could be a work thing or even a relationship, check all the details, because make sure whatever this person is proposing is on the level. That you're not, thinking, oh wow, this is great, it's too good to be true, and it might just be. It's not really good to sign contracts when Mercury is squaring Neptune, because your thinking is weakened. You're not really, your logic is off, and you might be reading into things. You're seeing things better than what they are, So don't over glamorize someone. Don't be too idealistic in love. Be realistic in love. That doesn't mean that everybody that comes your way is going to be a trickster. It's just that you might be just giving someone more credit than they're worth. So you want to just check that. Just make sure you're seeing someone realistically. But Mars sextile Uranus, that's a impatient kind of energy. So don't do anything reckless. You may feel like taking action, but you're being restricted by Saturn. So you feel frustrated, and then you just like lash out. Don't do that, because you could cause, problems with that. So you don't want to lash out and do anything reckless. Don't do anything, like even if you meet someone and they're great, you're not going to run off and get married. Don't rush into it. Just take your time. Let the person prove themselves. If someone's approaching you with something, just check it out really carefully before you agree to it. That's all I have to say. But other than that, I feel like the month is going to be good for you. I think you're going to be able to let go of an old cycle, and you're ready to, there's going to be opportunities to move into a new cycle that really suits you very well. So there could be people coming into your life that are very compatible with you, and they may open you up to new ways of being and new ways of seeing things, and even changing your thinking about certain things and your belief systems. So it's like a learning experience. This relationship could be a learning experience for you, where someone is sharing ideas and wisdom that's out of your, like you've never thought of before, or you've never experienced before. So it could be a fun time. Just don't be afraid to drop your guard and let someone in. That's all I have to say. So that's my forecast for this month, Cancer. I think it looks good. If you like this reading, click on the like button or the subscribe button. If you're new, welcome. For those of you who have been supporting the channel, thank you. And if you really would like a private reading so we can talk about things that just pertain to your situation specifically, click on the link in the description box. It'll get you to my website, and we can get you on the schedule. In the meantime, I want to say thank you to everyone for supporting my channel. Without you, I wouldn't be here. And stay safe, stay healthy, and don't give up on the dream. And I'll talk to you next month. Okay, bye now.